My faith is fading. Just can't seem to make myself believe this stuff anymore, especially regarding my sins and perversions. I just can't seem to even believe it's wrong anymore. No purpose of amendment. Ooh, that's a heavy question. I don't know where else to go. I'm going to do my best here, my friend. So despair is obviously from Satan. So if you're despairing, that's bad. It's also the case that if you habitually live in mortal sin for a long time, your faith will be weakened. If you really want to get yourself together, and I hope you do, and everyone on this live stream, please pray for this person. And what you mentioned there, I almost can't even seem to believe it's wrong anymore. This is a dulling of a conscience that takes place with habitual sin. I don't know what your situation is in life. I don't know if you're a grown man or a teenager or whatever, and you don't have to tell me anything. The most important thing that you do is save your soul. So whatever you're doing, you have to take drastic steps to fix it. I'm going to take a guess here and say that the perversions means 6th and 9th commandment probably has something to do with the solitary vice and X-rated videos, because that's 99.9% of sins that afflict most males today who have a problem. As soon as you're done hearing this answer, I want you to take your phone or your computer that you're using to listen to this, and I want you to go, if you have a gun, and I want you to do some skeet shooting with your technology, and I want you to blow it to pieces. If you have a job where you are required to use technology, I want you to go to your employer and say that you can't and see what they say. And if that's the case, I want you to get a new job. I don't care what you do. Go be a mover. Go cut lawns. Go be a tree planter. You have to make certain steps. If you get to the point where you go over the precipice, there may be no coming back from it. Obviously, with God, all things are possible, but from the sense of understanding the human condition, you've got to take some steps. Now, if you have good friends, you're going to have to set up some sort of accountability. You're going to have to be honest with people that you trust, even though it's embarrassing. If you're married, you're going to have to be honest with your spouse, even though it's going to break her heart in the temporary. And here's why. Because you're going to break her heart in the long term. And that's going to be worse. So you're going to have to make sure that you fill your time so that you don't have idle time. And in order to actually hold fast to your commitments to not being idle, you have to have people who you are going to be accountable to. So it's like, and what you have to do is you have to take stock of when you usually commit your sins. So a lot of people, and I wrote my book, Terror of Demons, which I recommend. I'm not telling you this because I want you to buy a book, but I talk about this in there. Men reach out to me to ask me these questions all the time, so I have a little bit of experience with this. Almost all the time, when I'll ask men, like, what you're dealing with here, it's always because of access to technology. And I'll say, could you live your life with a flip phone? 9 times out of 10, they could. Get a flip phone that doesn't get pictures. And I say, when does this sort of thing usually happen? Whatever the sin is. And it's like, well, it's usually this time of the week at this time at night, or it's whatever when I'm alone, or whatever it is, when I'm traveling for work, or whatever the thing is. You have to find a way to stop that setting from continuing to happen. I've even told guys, and they've taken my advice, where it's like, so you live alone, and you're just like a young guy, and there's just too much temptation because you're alone. You're done work at 5. Guess what you're doing? You're getting a second job. You're just going to lay around at night until 10 p.m., commit a sin with the internet or whatever it is, go to bed guilty. Congratulations. You're going to go get a job at your local UPS and drive at night or whatever. You fill in the blank here. You're also going to have to realize that you have no self-control. So you're going to have to take a lot of steps that are going to make you have social embarrassment in social settings. So like you got to cancel your gym membership because you can't keep going to the gym because it's a temptation there. Yeah, a lot of things like that. I hope that answer helps. But also at the end of the day, I want you to understand that Jesus Christ loves you and he weeps for your sins. So when you're done listening to this, I'd like you to go do two things for me. I'd like you to go pray the Litany of the Sacred Heart and really focus on the part in the Litany of the Sacred Heart where it says bruised for our offenses. And I'd like you to go pray the sorrowful mysteries of the Rosary. When you're done that, I'd like you to do kind of like with a budget. I want you to take stock of your life. And I want you to look at all the things I mentioned, like what settings do your sins happen in? What is the occasion of sin? What do you use to facilitate your sin and so forth? And then get rid of all those things, even if it means drastic changes, because it's better, as the scriptures tell us, to go to heaven missing a limb than to go there fully intact. I really hope that helps, my friend.